Hey guys! So today I have a very yummy recipe for Beijing style pork and cabbage dumplings. And the reason that they're Beijing style is because they are boiled and the skins are slightly thicker. So it's a completely different mouthfeel and you eat it with some lovely dipping sauce in the end. So I can't wait to show you guys this recipe. So I'm starting off by making a ground meat seitan mix, and I do this with a lot of my dim sum recipes. So I had some vital wheat gluten in there. I cut it with some potato starch to just get it more tender. That was a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of a vegan pork powder, and if you guys don't have that, I'm gonna put a substitute right down below, a little bit of sugar, and then a pinch of salt. So as usual with seitan mixes, always deal with all of your dry ingredients and mix that together really well first, and then go ahead and mix together your wet. So for that, I have a 1/4 cup of water, and then to that, I'm going to mix it with a little bit more than a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. And that just keeps the seitan nice and tender, more in the style of Chinese ground meats. So the rest of the flavoring ingredients, I have some soy sauce, some Chinese rice wine, and then finally 1 teaspoon of sesame oil to make everything nice and nutty. So I steamed a couple leaves of cabbage, enough for about 1 cup chopped, and I made sure to squeeze out all of the liquid beforehand so that we didn't get an overly wet mixture. And I'm going to mix this really well before combining it with my dry ingredients. So you guys can see that I'm doing this with a fork. You can do this with chopsticks as well. And my reasoning is to just not overwork the gluten, because if you do, you end up with really rubbery pieces of filling. So once the wheat gluten has completely dissolved and you folded everything in, you are good to go. So this is my basic dumpling wrappers recipe. I will put that link down below. It's pretty easy to make. Some water, some flour, some salt, and it's been resting for about an hour. So I'm just gonna knead it for a couple of minutes just so that it gets its structure back before I divide it up into right around 20 pieces. I always love that donut method of rolling a piece of dough into a log, because it's already in that circular shape, so it's so much easier. And the good thing about cutting a cross section of a log is that you already have these pieces that are kind of in circles already. So just take the palms of your hands and then squish those down before we roll them out. So those that are new to the channel, we do this method all the time, but I roll out the circle into right around like a 3-inch diameter disc first, and then we concentrate on the kind of the outer edge and making that slightly thinner than the center, and that will make it easier for us to do pleating later, but it also makes the center of the wrapper stronger so that it can support all that filling. So I fill these guys up pretty good. I'd say a tablespoon and a half, but you can start with less. And this method that I'm doing is sort of an easier way of pleating. So you can see that I close the middle first, and then I press the outside edge and seal that, and you end up with this additional flap. And if you press it down in the middle, it sort of forms the pleats for you, essentially. I don't know how to explain that any better, so here's another one for you guys to watch. So here they are, all lovely and folded, and at this time you can actually freeze these guys and use them for a later date, or we can cook them fresh. So I have a pot of cold water here, which is different from how we normally do dumplings, and this is sort of the traditional style of how to do these Beijing dumplings. You want to bring it up to a boil first, and then after the first boil, pour, I don't know, like a half a cup of cold water on it to bring that heat down, and then bring it up to a boil again. And once all of the dumplings are floating and nice, then you're good to go. So I have a lovely dipping sauce recipe that I typically use, so I'm gonna put that down below. But you can see what's nice about these dumplings is that the outside shell is nice and hearty, and the inside filling, it's not meat crumbles this time. It's tender pieces of ground meat and cabbage, and it's lovely with the dipping sauce. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed that recipe, and I just had to jam in another dumpling recipe before the year ends. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!